欢迎继续收看佛学英文这一堂课。Welcome back to the Buddhist English class. Let's read a few sentences and then we will explain and analyze the contents. Repeat after me. During a meditation retreat, one leaves behind for a time the rush and the trouble of his daily life, and in an atmosphere of quiet mindfulness and loving kindness, devotes his energy entirely to the development of awareness. The minimum length of time usually needed for beginning Westerners is 1 month. After completing such a period of intensive meditation, one is better to continue the development and the practice of mindfulness in daily life. What could be better than a meditation you can take anywhere? A saint is a very simple man. When he walks, he walks. When he talks, and that's all. He doesn't think while listening, daydream while walking, see while touching. That is very hard. That is why he is a saint. That is why there is trouble in our lives. Tension is the first noble truth. Life is suffering. The price of wisdom is pain, but it is the wisdom that cuts off the suffering. Finally, there is no choice but to breathe freely. Your pain can be the breaking of the shell which encloses your understanding. Only simple minds can understand this complex problem called life. If we accept everything in life as our teacher, we will soon be free from the pain of unnecessary resistance and unnecessary desire. Repeat after me. During a meditation retreat, one leaves behind for a time the rush and the trouble of his daily life, and in an atmosphere of quiet mindfulness and loving kindness, devotes his energy entirely to the development of awareness. The minimum length of time usually needed for beginning Westerners is 1 month. After completing such a period of intensive meditation, one is able to continue the development and the practice of mindfulness in daily life. What could be better than a meditation you can take anywhere? A saint is a very simple man. When he walks, he walks. When he talks, and that's all. He doesn't think while listening, daydream while walking, see while touching. That is very hard. That is why he is a saint. That is why there is trouble in our lives. Tension is the first noble truth. Life is suffering. The price of wisdom is pain, but it is this wisdom that cuts off the suffering. Finally, there is no choice but to breathe freely. Your pain can be the breaking of the shell which encloses your understanding. Only simple minds can understand this complex problem called life. If we accept everything in life as our teacher, we will soon be free from the pain of unnecessary resistance and unnecessary desire. In our last class, we have discussed about the necessity of awareness and the technique how to develop our awareness. Awareness means that we can pay attention to what we are doing right here and right now. We can understand what is within ourselves and without ourselves. We are totally clear about our inner mind and our atmosphere. The most simple way to develop our awareness is to take a meditation retreat under the guidance of a qualified meditation teacher. Because a period of intensive meditation can train our mind to be focused upon the object we want to focus our attention. And a qualified meditation teacher has the experience of taking meditation. And it can solve our problem in the process of taking meditation. It is not easy to have a concentrated mind because we are conditioned to run away. We are conditioned to think too much. We are conditioned not to be aware. Our education, the advertisements, the media, the interaction between people always distract our attention and make us not to be aware of the immediate time and the immediate space where we are. It is not so easy to train the meditation technique. We have to go to a quiet place for taking intensive meditation under the guidance of a qualified teacher. A qualified teacher has the experience of taking meditation, and he understands what is going to happen during the period of intensive meditation. When we decide to go to a meditation place for intense practice, during the meditation retreat, we have to forget everything. We cannot still think about our business, our family life, or our worldly desires. Because in the meditation place, the primary object of our work is to train our mind to calm down. in order to be a peaceful and a happy person. During the meditation retreat, one leaves behind for a time the rush and the trouble of his life, and in an atmosphere of quiet mindfulness and loving kindness, devotes his energy entirely to the development of awareness. In our daily life, we are always in a hurry. We are always in a rush. We rush here and rush there. We rush to the office, to the factory, to the school for doing something, because we are occupied with the busy schedule. The rush will lose our tempo. The rush will distract our awareness. We don't have the time and we don't have the mood to focus our attention on a certain point. We are in a rush. We are in a hurry. We are in a rush to work. We are in a rush to school. We are in a rush to the so-called enjoyment of our life. We are in a rush to have the social activity. And in fact, we are in a rush to death, to the unknowing future. We never stop to think about what is our life goal, what is the meaning of life. We are in a rush, and therefore we are in trouble. Because when we are in life, in rush, we cannot make the most proper decision. We cannot make the best choice. This will cause us much trouble. Rush and trouble are the most common phenomena of modern people. Because we are not in a quiet place, because we don't have sufficient time to train our mind to be aware of right here and right now, we will be always in trouble. However, if we decide to calm down our mind and to take a meditation training, we have to leave behind for a time the rush and the trouble of our life. To leave behind means not to care about. We just leave the rush and the trouble of our daily life behind ourselves. We don't care about the rush and the trouble of our life. No matter how we are in a rush, no matter how we are in the trouble of daily life, we must leave behind all of them. And don't let the rush and the trouble of our daily life interrupt our training or distract our training. Otherwise, it will be a waste of time for us. If we just sit there, but our mind wanders away to our office, to our school, to our factory, we are wasting our time. Because it is only our body there, but our mind is nowhere. If we want to have a better result of sitting meditation, we must leave behind the rush and the trouble of our life. It is for a period of time. It doesn't mean that we have to leave behind all the time the rush and trouble of our daily life. Because we are living in the world, because we are living our hard life. We have to walk, we have to learn, we have to interact with other people. We have to do our business. We have to perform our role in the worldly life. Sometimes we need to hurry up. Sometimes we need to take trouble to think, to plan, to do, to speak. And therefore, we may encounter trouble. And therefore, sometimes we need to be in a rush. However, if we go to a meditation retreat for a period of time, for example, 1 week, 10 days, or 1 month, 2 months, we have to leave behind everything we may have in our daily life in order to concentrate our mind, in order to be mindful, in order to train our awareness. A meditation place is usually in an atmosphere of quiet mindfulness and a loving kindness. Of course, at the very beginning stage, we cannot train ourselves to be aware in a busy marketplace. We must go to a proper place, a quiet place, a place of quiet mindfulness and a loving kindness. In a meditation place, the meditators have nothing to do but to train their mind in order to rest on right here and right now. It is in an atmosphere of quiet mindfulness, and it is also in an atmosphere of loving kindness. The loving kindness comes from the teacher and also the students. The teacher should have loving kindness in his teaching. A teacher understands the students are always in trouble. A teacher must have the loving kindness in order to teach properly the technique of sitting meditation. And also, on the other hand, a meditator should have meditation technique. The meditation technique includes the way of training his mind and the way of developing his loving kindness towards himself and other people, other things, the external world. Because a meditation must treat himself kindly. He must have his mind rest on a quiet place, a proper place, a proper way. And from the loving kindness towards oneself, one can develop the loving kindness towards other people, other things, and the external world. In such an atmosphere, a meditator can devote his energy entirely to the development of awareness. A meditator can devote his energy entirely, means a meditator can spend his whole energy to the development of awareness. The purpose of taking a meditation retreat is to develop awareness. But one should have loving kindness and quiet mindedness if one wants to develop awareness. Otherwise, one's mind will be in a rush and in trouble. The minimum length of time usually needed for beginning Westerners is 1 month. The minimum length of time is the minimum period of time needed for beginning Westerners is 1 month. The minimum means the least. The least length of time needed for beginning Westerners. The Westerners are living in a busy world. They are always in a rush and in trouble. They have so many problems in their life, in their mind. It is not easy for them to leave behind their trouble and their rush. It is not easy for the Westerners to calm down their minds. In particular, the beginning Westerners in meditation are inclined to be distracted away by their business, by their troubles in life. In this case, the minimum length of time are needed for beginning Westerners to calm down their mind is 1 month. If less than 1 month, the beginning Westerners cannot develop their awareness. If shorter than 1 month, the beginning Westerners will find it very hard to concentrate their mind. It is advised that beginning Westerners should take 1 month of meditation retreat. Of course, we, the Orientals, we, the Chinese, should also take at least 1 month in order to train ourselves to calm down our mind. It is the minimum required length of time for 1 month. Less than that, we cannot have enough training. We cannot have ideal result. We have to spare 1 month in our life in order to receive the intense training to be a mindful person. After completing such a period of intensive meditation, one is better able to continue the development and practice of mindfulness in daily life. After finishing such a period of intensive meditation, that means after taking the minimum required time of 1 month in intensive meditation, one is better to continue the development and the practice of mindfulness in daily life. During the period of intensive meditation, one can establish a concentrated mind. One can have a solid training in meditation. After this period, one has to go back to his work, to his factory, to his school, to his family, to his society, to continue his daily life. However, after the intensive meditation training, one can be able to continue the development and the practice of mindfulness in daily life. Because after training, one's mind can easily calm down. One will not be distracted by the external atmosphere. One is better able to develop and practice mindfulness in daily life. It is the function of training. The result of the training will make one easily calm down. However, when one is back to his daily life, one has to continue the practice of meditation in the morning and in the evening. If possible, during the daytime, one has to practice meditation. One has to develop one's mindfulness in order to have efficient ways of doing business. If we can continue to develop and practice mindfulness in our daily life, then we can live a happy and a peaceful life. What could be better than a meditation you can take anywhere? What could be better if one can practice meditation anytime and anywhere? At the beginning stage, we have to seclude ourselves. We have to isolate ourselves from the distraction of our daily business. We have to go to a quiet place to receive the training under a qualified teacher. We have to leave behind the rush, the trouble of our daily life. That means we should lay down our work. We should go to an isolated place. But after a period of intensive meditation training, we can build up ourselves a firm mind, a concentrated and a mindful mind. And in this way, we can practice meditation everywhere, at any time. We don't need to lay down our daily work. We can just practice meditation wherever we go, whenever we are. So, if we can practice meditation in the dining room, in the restroom, in the kitchen room, when we are eating, when we are sleeping, when we are standing, when we are walking, when we are studying, when we are talking with other people, when we are doing business in the daytime. That is the best training of meditation. What could be better than that? We cannot find any better way to practice meditation than practicing our meditation in daily life. If we can do in such a way, then it is the best way of training meditation. A saint is a very simple man. When he walks, he walks. When he talks, and that's all. A saint is a holy person, is a mindful person, is a person who is always aware of what is within himself and what is outside himself. A saint is a clear person who understands what he should do, what he should speak, and what he should think. However, a saint is a very simple man. Many people misunderstand that a saint is a complicated man. A saint is a very complicated person. But to the contrary, a saint is a very simple man. A saint lives a simple life because a saint doesn't concern about the enjoyment, the luxury of his life. A saint think in a very simple way because a saint has a pure mind. A saint doesn't play tricks. A saint speak simple words because a saint only speaks the truth. A saint understands what he should speak. A saint is a very simple man. He just does one thing at one time. When he walks, he walks. His mind is totally focused on the action of walking. When he walks, he just walks. He leaves behind his rush and his trouble of life. He just walks. He just walks attentively. So he will walk very safely, very peacefully, very happily. When he walks, he just walks. When he talks, he just talks. When he speaks of something, he just speaks of something. And that's all. He's such a simple person. He is only resting on right here and right now. He is only doing one thing at one time. When he walks, he walks. When he talks, and that's all. When he sleeps, he sleeps. When he eats, he eats. When he reads, he reads. When he stands, he stands. That's all. His mind is totally concentrated. Is totally resting on the present moment. He doesn't think while listening. He doesn't daydream while walking. He doesn't see while touching. When a saint is listening to some voice, is listening to some people, he doesn't think. He pays his attention to the action of listening. That means he is so attentive. And of course, this is a way of respect. He shows to the person who is talking. He doesn't think while listening. When he's walking, he doesn't daydream. Daydream means to think of something out of the reality. He's not aware of the life realities. He's totally away. His mind is daydreaming. Therefore, he doesn't live in the real life. When his hand is touching something, he just touches something very gently, very attentively, very carefully. He doesn't see anything because his mind is totally concentrated on the action of touching. The present time is the only time we can have. However, our mind is trained, is conditioned to wander away. We have to call back our mind to the present time. We have to retrain ourselves to be aware. We have to be mindful of what we are doing, what we are talking, what we are thinking. That is very hard. It is not easy because after so long a time in our life, we are not in the condition of concentration. That is very hard. That is why he is a saint. That is why there is trouble in our lives. A saint is a saint. A saint is a person who is always mindful. When he walks, he walks. When he sees, he sees. When he listens, he listens. He doesn't do anything else. He can do this very hard thing, to be a mindful person. That is why he is a saint. He is so simple. He just does one thing at one time. And that is why he is a saint. That is the reason why he is called a saint. And he can live a holy life. And of course, that is the reason why we have trouble in our lives. Because when our mind is not in the present time, then we can easily make trouble. We can easily make mistake. And we can bring sufferings to ourselves. The way to develop awareness, the way to be mindful, is the way to develop our wisdom. But the price of wisdom is pain. We have to take pain in developing our wisdom. If we cannot endure the pain, then we cannot develop our wisdom. The development and the training of wisdom should have our pain in the progress of training. But it is this wisdom that cuts off the suffering. Of course, we have to take pain in developing our wisdom. But fortunately, it is this wisdom that cuts off the suffering. If we don't have the wisdom, we cannot see the real facts of our life. And consequently, we will have suffering. However, if we can have wisdom, we can cut off the suffering. We take pains to train ourselves, to develop our wisdom. Therefore, we can use the wisdom to cut off our suffering. Finally, there is no choice but to bleed freely. Because if we want to have wisdom, then we have to take pain to train ourselves. There is no free lunch. We have to pay something. We have to bleed in order to train ourselves to develop our wisdom. We have to take hardship. We have to take pain in order to develop our clear understanding of our life, in order to cut off our trouble. Your pain can be the breaking of the shell, which encloses your understanding. Your pain in taking meditation, in developing your wisdom, and in training the concentration, can be the breaking of the shell. Shell can be a seashell. It hard outer shell of a small worm, of a fish, or of something. The breaking of the shell, which encloses your understanding. Maybe it is our prejudice. Maybe it is our stupidity. Maybe it is our hatred, our delusion, our craving. The shell encloses our understanding. The shell prevents us from touching the external world, understanding our life. But the pain we take in training can break off this shell, which encloses our understanding. We will break off the shell and develop our wisdom. Only simple minds can understand this complex problem called life. Our life is very complicated. Our life is very complex. And our life has so many problems. And the only way to solve this problem is to have simple mind. Because a simple mind is a pure mind. A simple mind can see clearly our life. A pure mind can understand our mind, can understand our life. A pure mind is freed of hatred, delusion, and craving. Therefore, a simple mind is the only way to understand the complex problem we call life. If we accept everything in life as our teacher, we will soon be free from the pain of unnecessary resistance and unnecessary desire. In our life, we have many unnecessary resistance against the development of nature, the development of things, and we make too many unnecessary desires to cling to our life. The unnecessary resistance and unnecessary desire will bring pain to us, will make us trouble, will make us suffer in this complex life. And the only way is to learn, is to develop wisdom. And the way to develop wisdom, to learn from our daily life, is to accept everything in our life as a teacher. We can learn everything in our life. We can treat every person, everything as our teacher, and we can develop our wisdom. We can develop our awareness and mindfulness in order to have a happy life. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.